What's happening, fam? Welcome back to the channel. Hope everybody is doing well. Now, obviously you can see this layout. It's a little bit different from what I normally do, but I wanted to show you guys actually on the computer screen how all of this stuff is and how it works and like how you can get your oil tested and whatnot. So let me minimize this real quick. Just want to show you guys a couple things. Oh shoot, you see that? Damn. Tell me you're obsessed without telling me you're obsessed. No, I'm just kidding. So what I want to show you guys is, first I want to show you guys Blackstone's website. They actually have some really cool tools on there so that you guys can actually go on there, learn a lot of things, see what their testing is about. You know what I'm saying? There we go. Blackstone Labs. There we go. Dun, 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 dun. So now they have really cool stuff on here. So now once you're on their main page, all right, follow me, you go to services and you go to report explanation. Now this is pretty much the third part in this Amsoil series, where the first part was back last year when I took the sample from the Motul 10W40 syntheses that I used to always run. The second one was that I did the other day of running the Amsoil, guys. And as I said in the previous videos, the Motul, I ran it for about 1170 miles with a blend of ethanol and sometimes pump gas. So I did half and half, because when you run only with ethanol, that fuel is very corrosive to your oil. So what I did was I sent out the Motul stuff to get tested, and then the Amsoil stuff, I actually ran it, and you will see later, I actually have the oil report right here. So, but I want to show you, bringing it up on the computer, where I ran the Amsoil stuff for about 200 and I think 230 miles longer, and only with E85. So I purposely abused that oil because I wanted to see how good it actually was. So now when you go on Blackstone's website, you go to services, you go to report explanation, and then you go to view gas diesel explanation right here. And this module right here is gonna show up. Now, the cool thing about this is just a paper showing, it literally looks just like this right here. And what it's showing you, it has all the additives and stuff like that in the oil, TBN, it shows you flash points and such and such and such. Now, a lot of you guys out there, guys and gals, who don't know much about, or you don't change your own oil or whatever the case might be, you go over here and when you click over, so like say 3 major components like anti-wear additives in oil is molybdenum, phosphorus, and zinc. So right here, when you scroll over moly, it sounds familiar, like liquid moly, that German oil that they make, which Amsoil is way better than anyway. Molybdenum, it's an anti-wear additive coating on some new rings, washes off as break-in occurs. You go to phosphorus, anti-wear additive, zinc, anti-wear additive. So if you get what I'm saying, so when you scroll over the additives, you will see everything that you need to know. Get it? And it'll give you at least an explanation, so it'll help you make an informed decision and or understand the report when it comes out. You get what I'm saying? So now, let's just close that bad boy out. So now you guys can understand what I'm saying once I start with the video. So this is the old, well, the first, not older, the older oil report right here. So now in this oil report, what they're saying, and obviously I only have it scroll down over here. Higher up, I have a lot of personal information and stuff like that. So give me 1 second, let me maximize this. All right, so this is what they said right here. So now on the oil report, you see I have right here, I put 1140 miles on that specific amount of oil before I took the sample. Has the mileage when I took it, the sample date, which was the July 26th. Okay, and as we scroll down, these numbers on this column right here, the highlighted column, it shows the averages off that Motul oil. So Motul, Amsoil, Pennzoil, they have different averages of where the numbers should lie, if you get what I'm saying. So depending on what you have here, it can be good or bad. So let's go down real quick. Actually, before we go down, let's read what it says. It says, Luke, we have a few possible concerns to point out in this first sample from Hulk. Note, the copper and silver are both high compared to the averages. So the copper over here was 98, okay? And the silver is a little bit lower down, but anyway, they were higher than the averages. And it says here, if you haven't done many oil changes since new, maybe some of the copper is lingering wear in. But otherwise, the copper shows brass, bronze wear, and silver might come from bearings. So what they were trying to say here is it looks like I was just like, I haven't done much oil changes and I was breaking in the motor. Meanwhile, I change this damn oil like every 1,000 miles. It's freaking wild. I was recommended to change this like every 1,500 miles. I was changing it at around 900 to 1,100. I wasn't even going the full 1,500 miles because the oil with the Motul stuff, it smelled like pure fuel. Like it's crazy. It smelled, that's how it smelled by the time you get to close to even at 1,140 miles. Now, which is interesting because read the last part right here. It says, note, the very low flash point and thin viscosity, viscosity is the thickness of the oil, it suggested fuel dilution. It's crazy. But it says it's not enough fuel to suggest a possible problem, so just watch out. But they said, but try for a shorter run. So what they said was pretty much change your oil a little bit sooner due to your fuel dilution problem. As I told you before, ethanol is a very corrosive fuel. And the crazy part was, as I said before, I ran ethanol, then pump gas, ethanol, pump gas. So it wasn't 100% ethanol the entire time on this 1,100 miles, if you dig what I'm saying. Okay? So I'm gonna bring up this oil report now with both oils side by side. Hold on a second. All right, guys, so I'm back. So this is the Amsoil stuff right here. This is the Motul stuff right here. So I was able to get it on the spreadsheet for you guys. So it'll give you guys a better visualization of where things are needed to go or needed to be. So I want you to check this out real quick. If you notice right here, I don't know if you guys can see this pointer right here, blah, blah, blah. Okay, look where this cursor is up here. So the elapsed time on the Amsoil stuff was 1,371 miles. The Motul, as I showed you before, was 1,140. So I ran the Amsoil 231 miles more than the Motul stuff. The Amsoil that I used here was 5W30, the Signature Series stuff, the best stuff you can get. Okay? Now, I got the oil, the sample date was 5/22. The sample came back and just I would say about a week ago, I think June or maybe 2 weeks ago, June 6th, somewhere around there. So that's when I got the emails. Now, as I told you before, on the Blackstone Laboratory site, if you hover over the additives and whatnot, you'll see what they do. Now, I just wanted to show you guys. Now, actually, let me move this up for a second. I want you guys to check this out real quick. I went a little bit too far. So it says here, they amended it because I wanted to show both oils on the same spreadsheet. They said here, well, good news that the 6.3% fuel dilution didn't make a repeat performance. It says the high flash point shows that, and now the viscosity read in the 5W30 range. So it showed that there was no fuel in the oil, which means what? It's lubricating properly and sealing the ring so no blow by and stuff was getting by to cause that type of fuel dilution in the oil, if you understand what I'm saying. Now, as I told you guys before, this is 1,371 miles, okay, with only running E85. So I abused the hell out of this oil for 1,371 miles. And it still came out on top. It's freaking wild. It's nuts. You guys can read the rest of it. But at the end, notice this. TBN is a strong 5.9. So we're going to talk about that in a second. So the crazy part is this. The copper in the Amsoil was right on par, was where it's supposed to be. In the Motul stuff, it was higher. The moly, which is an anti-wear additive, right here, the moly is 199 compared to Motul's 71. Doesn't look that great. Am I right? The crazy part is that Amsoil literally pretty much spanked, either it went even with it, like silver 777, manganese 111. It literally went on par with certain additives, or it beat it. It beat the Motul stuff. Now let's go down here. The only thing that the Motul had higher was calcium. That is it. Calcium. But phosphorus, we got 737 to Motul 658. Zinc, 837 to Motul 782. And then you can look at the averages right here. It's freaking wild. Boron from the Amsoil 243 to Motul's 23. So by hands down, that oil pretty much got its ass whipped. And I didn't even push it that far. It's freaking wild. Now let's scroll down a little bit. I'm gonna teach you guys a little something. This is very, very important. I want you guys to look over here. See this flash point? Flash point is where it's the temperature at which the oil vapor ignites. So look at this. It's supposed, the averages is supposed to be greater than 375 degrees Fahrenheit. The Amsoil came in at 440 degrees Fahrenheit. Look at the Motul. 260, 260. You want the higher number, so your oil is not freaking disappearing. All right, guys. So down here, this right after the flash point, right before that, I want to show you guys something right here. This SUS viscosity in Fahrenheit and this CST is Stokes viscosity in Celsius. So how it was explained to me by the young lady in Blackstone, if you notice, the Amsoil here is within the range from 9 to 11, but the Motul is 6.32. And even in the Fahrenheit, obviously it's 59.5. It's supposed to be between 56 and 63, and the Motul is down here. So at 46.9. Now, she explained it to me that some of the oil is put in a tube and heated up. And when it heats up, they want to see how fast it can go where it needs to be. And pretty much, Amsoil wins in that. Okay? This is the fuel. The fuel in the oil was less than 0.5. Less than 0.5%. Okay? It's supposed to be less than 2. The last time, look at the fuel in the oil for the Motul, 6.3%. You know what I mean? That's a decent amount of fuel. And this is the granddaddy right here. The TBN of the Amsoil was still at 5.9. As long as it's greater than 1, you know what I mean, it's pretty good. And the Motul is 5.2, which isn't that bad. But remember, the Motul was not abused like the Amsoil, and the Amsoil still beat it. Now guys, TBN it's an amazing thing. TBN, the higher the TBN in your oil, the more alkaline the oil is, which makes it more resistant to becoming acidic and breaking down. So the higher the TBN, the better. And that's what Amsoil is known for. That's why they can put, 25,000 miles on the oil. That's why on the oil it says that. You know what I'm saying? It's freaking amazing. It's amazing. And I've been running my cars and my truck, they're a testament. My wife's car, you know what I mean? It's crazy. My wife's car has over 210,000 miles. Right now, my truck has over 7,000 miles since the last oil change. No oil burning. I have a lot of my friends on this stuff, and they can attest and tell you how good the oil actually is. So there you have it, folks. Ran the Amsoil, abused it, ran it 230 miles more than the Motul stuff. At the end of it, it outperformed the Motul by far. What more evidence you want? Y'all know what to do, man. Definitely like, subscribe, comment, and I'll talk to y'all soon. Take it easy.